I think reaching college students and young professionals is important because they are in this really interesting season of life where they have the freedom and the flexibility that lots of others do not. But they also have this hunger in them. And I think if they really channel that hunger into the local church and really hunger for the things of God, the Lord uses that in powerful ways. Morrisville is technically a small town, but it certainly doesn't feel like a small town. We're in really the middle of what we call the triangle. The triangle is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. This is Bayleaf's first ever local church plant. As a church began to look at what does it look like to really reach people beyond the walls of this particular church planting rises to the top. Ultimately, this church plant is just simply an act of obedience to what we call the Great Commission. I have a passion for college students because I was in college ministry, and I love to see how that season of life is used for the kingdom. And they have the opportunity to not only find a good career here, but plug themselves into a local church that's seeking to, reach this community and be on mission.
It wasn't my initial thought to get involved in a church plant. God really placed it in front of me. So I have a lot of creative skills, and I knew that I could use that for this church plant. And also just being here in Morrisville, I was moving to the area, so it definitely made sense logistically and with my skills. And the people that were starting to get involved with the church plant were just really gospel-centered and mission-focused, and that was really encouraging to see, and that really drew me into.
To be a part of a church plant, and then people that care for you and praying for you. And when it's a smaller church, like startup, everyone's really close and every single person in the church. So that helps you.
I'm excited for this Go2 concept. It gives college students a next step in a season of uncertainty, and it really channels them and points them in the direction of, hey, you have an opportunity to really leverage your life for the kingdom of God. And so our church, as a Go2 church, is looking at these students saying, hey, we're positioned in an area where there's lots of opportunity for jobs, but in addition to that, the number one thing that you can do with your life is pour into the local church and leave behind this legacy for the kingdom.
Just by watching them, I've been able to see good examples of how discipleship works, how church leadership works. So I don't really know what's next after this church plant for me, but whatever it is, I know that I've been able to see good examples of godly leaders.
This is gonna really help me to no matter what condition I am, to always move with God. Once it was God's plan and they were really devoted to it, and I've seen it grow. So in future when I'm doing some my work or something else, I'm going through something, I'm gonna always have this a small testimony behind my mind that remember how this started a small church in Morrisville, and now they're it's prospering. So that's gonna give me hope.